Have you ever wondered how it feels to be trapped in your own game? Or how it feels to be the villain of your own story despite having to act as a protagonist? No matter. We'll answer these questions and more probably in this video. Everyone, welcome to MORKULL RAGAST'S Rage. First of all, what actually is MORKULL RAGAST'S Rage? Well, according to the developers themselves, MORKULL RAGAST'S Rage is a 2D video game that combines platforming and action with a touch of exploration. We will control Morkull, the villain of the story, who knows that he is a character in a video game and also knows about the existence of a player who controls him, and he also knows about the developers who have created him. So what's our objective in this game, you might be wondering? Well, we have to help Morkull escape from the Ragast so he can rule and carry out his evil plans around the world. I have to admit, I haven't played a game that breaks the fourth wall since Deadpool the game. I generally give you some information about the developers, Disaster Games, in this section as well, but I couldn't find anything about them, which means that MORKULL RAGAST'S Rage might be their very first game. This is kind of awesome though. I like the sound of that. Before we delve into the gameplay, I must mention that I am playing the demo version of the game because the main game isn't out yet, and it doesn't have a release date. However, the demo offers us ample material and gameplay to determine if the game is worth playing. Without much further ado, let's dive into the game. As always, I will begin with a technical look at the game, which means I will be examining menus, settings, options, and so on. This is how the main menu looks. It doesn't have much going on, but it does its job. Let's get into the options. In the audio settings, we have the volume meters for pretty much everything. And believe me, the game was pretty loud at the start, so I had to tune it down a bit. In the game settings section, we have language, controls, and credits. If we press on language, we can see that the game's language changes. For those that do not know, the game changes its language to Spanish, which means that you can play the game in either Spanish or English. For the controls, we have our button mapping here, but sadly, we can't edit anything. Other than learning the controls the way they are given, we can't do anything else. Maybe this is just for the demo, but who knows? I wish we could change some key bindings here. And lastly, we have the credits. Now let's get into the actual gameplay. Right from the get-go, we can see that the the villain of the story, is already breaking the fourth wall and directly talking with us. He threatens us that if we don't help him escape the game, he will actually kill a kitten. We don't want that, so we'll help him. And yes, you're not wrong. The game seems hugely inspired by Hollow Knight, which is a masterpiece of a game in itself. I highly recommend playing it if you haven't already. The controls for this game are quite simple. We use the left stick to walk around, the X button to jump, and so on. Yes, the game features a lot of platforming, and you'll be doing this quite a lot. The fighting in this game is as simple as it sounds. Hit the square for light attack and the triangle for heavy attacks. The jokes are obviously not missing from this game either. There's something important that I have to mention. The game is not voiced. Instead, the characters make funny animal sounds when you try to talk with them. Since the game is heavily inspired by Souls-like games and whatnot, it features hard battles and a potion system akin to Dark Souls. There's also a parry button that you can use to stun or even kill enemies, depending on their size, obviously. And, well, use your own skill as a gamer to progress through the game, because the game can get quite challenging, especially during boss fights, which we'll talk about a bit later. During exploration, you'll find locked doors that you have to unlock by exploring different areas, possibly even backtracking and finding keys. If you are wondering what happens if you die, well, you get the error 404, and you'll have to restart from the latest checkpoint. And now, let's talk about boss fights. Galat, or well, Ares, is the first and the last boss you'll fight in the demo. He has multiple phases, as expected, and puts up quite the fight. I should also mention that the music changes with the levels or the action you are doing. For example, when fighting a boss, and I believe that is a nice touch coming from an indie developer. After defeating Galat, we are being told by MORKULL himself that we have finished the demo and that he thanks us for playing this game. He also seems a bit upset that we couldn't help him get out of the game, and now he's stuck with the same developers that created him. Now, let's get into the verdict. Demos are generally known for having bugs or, well, not working as intended, yet I haven't really encountered any bugs when playing this demo. So, on the technical side, I can say that I am satisfied. But in a market that's so hungry for indie games, people expect high-quality indies almost all the time. I mean, look at Hades and the upcoming Hades 2, or, well, Hyper Light Drifter. They are all great games that deliver outstanding quality despite being indie. Can Disaster Games do the same after trying out the demo? The answer is maybe. The game is fairly simple and hard with a very simple and easy-to-follow story. If this is what you are looking for, you should definitely give this game a chance. If you're looking for something more complicated or intriguing, I think that you should skip this one. I personally enjoyed my time with it, and I hope that you'll do the same if you decide to give this game a chance. Tell me in the comments if you do. I'll be happy to read your opinion about it. And that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, please don't hesitate to like the video and maybe even consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.